Hi, I'm Carylann Assante, Executive Director for the Student and Youth Travel Association and the SYTA Youth Foundation. We had an opportunity to work with Dulcie on strategic planning. Organization is about 15 years old, and we felt it was time for us to really revisit what were the strategic goals that established our organization, looking at the past, the present, and then where we want to go. So we put together a strategic planning session for 2 days, working with our volunteer board of approximately 15 executives. It was a terrific session in that Dulcie provided us with homework and a framework that our board could look at and work with to become familiar with the materials that they'd be working with at the session. So the board had some homework, they looked at it in advance, we had conversations. That way when we arrived on site, they were familiar with some of the projects and really what our focus was. The sessions went really well because Dulcie has an open, casual style that really enabled everyone at the table to have a voice to speak. There were great opportunities where she reached out and invited some of the board members who hadn't spoken yet. There were appropriate times where we needed to end some conversations and move on to another subject. Always ending each of the conversations with a recap of where we are right now, are we in agreement, and then are we okay to move on. So that really helped facilitate the session and helped us stay on course. There never seems to be enough time, but with Dulcie's assistance, we were really able to end the 2-day session with what we had hoped to achieve. An outline of a purpose, a vision, a mission statement, and then some real actionable goals that we'll be able to take back to our organization. I also like the opportunity to talk after the meeting, recap how things went, and then also that opportunity to have another conversation and as many calls as we need to make sure that we end up with exactly what we wanted to. The next day after the sessions, we had some great meetings with our board members. They had really enjoyed her working style, and again, the opportunity to connect with each other, in this very welcoming environment. So her expertise in both the for-profit and not-for-profit areas was great. I also noticed that her abilities with navigational coaching and her experience in that area really helped produce a great session for some of our other members. We had a great coaching session where at least 65 of our members had about an hour or so session where they learned the real key basics of navigational coaching, and they walked away with some great things that they could take back with them. In addition, many of them sounded excited about following up with Dulcie potentially to continue working on the things that they learned. You're always often asked the question, would you recommend somebody or would you recommend Dulcie? So of course, I'd like to say that I'd like to recommend Dulcie, and we look forward to having her back with SYTA and the SYTA Youth Foundation.